What if I told you that one woman from a tiny Chilean town just flipped the entire modeling industry on its head? Picture this. You're scrolling through Instagram, and suddenly you stop. Not because of another filtered cookie-cutter model, but because you see someone who looks real. Someone who radiates confidence from every curve, every smile, every unapologetic pose. Someone who makes you think. Finally, someone who gets it. Have you ever felt invisible in a world obsessed with one narrow definition of beauty? Have you ever wondered why the fashion industry seems to forget that real women come in all shapes and sizes? Well, you're not alone. Millions of us have been waiting for someone brave enough to shatter those glass ceilings. Meet Katherine Saez, the 22-year-old Chilean powerhouse who didn't just enter the modeling world, she rewrote its rules entirely. While other models were trying to fit into the industry's mold, Katherine grabbed a sledgehammer and demolished it. And here's the crazy part. She almost never became a model at all. But before I reveal how a business administration student became the voice of a generation, let me ask you this. Are you ready to discover how one woman's journey from rock bottom to the top is changing lives across the globe? Because Katherine's story isn't just about modeling, it's about revolution. Katherine's story begins in Chimango, Chile, a place so small, you've probably never heard of it. This wasn't the typical launching pad for international modeling careers. No fashion weeks, no talent scouts, no red carpets, just a determined young woman with big dreams and an even bigger heart. But here's where it gets interesting. Katherine wasn't dreaming of runways and photo shoots. She was busy building what she thought would be her sensible career, studying business administration, working at a medical center, following the traditional path that society expected of her. Then 2020 happened. COVID-19 didn't just change the world, it shattered Katherine's carefully planned future. The medical center, her studies, her entire life trajectory, all of it came crashing down. She found herself at 20 years old, watching her dreams dissolve in real time. Most people would have panicked. Most people would have given up. But Katherine, she saw opportunity in the chaos. Her family, the same people who had always encouraged her to dream bigger, whispered the words that would change everything. Why don't you try something different? Her partner looked at her one day and said, "You have something special. The world needs to see it." And in that moment, sitting in lockdown, unemployed and uncertain, Katherine made a decision that would impact millions of lives. She picked up her phone, opened Instagram, and decided to show the world who she really was. What happened next was pure magic. The kind of organic, authentic connection that no marketing budget can buy. Katherine started posting photos, but these weren't your typical influencer shots. These were raw, real, unapologetically bold images of a woman who refused to hide. She shared her curves, her culture, her confidence, and something extraordinary happened. The comments started pouring in. Not the usual surface-level compliments, but heartfelt messages from women saying, "Thank you for showing me it's okay to love myself. You made me feel beautiful for the first time in years. I finally see someone who looks like me." Within months, thousands turned into hundreds of thousands. Her follower count exploded, but more importantly, her impact exploded. Katherine had accidentally stumbled upon something the fashion world desperately needed: authenticity. Brands started noticing. Not because she fit their traditional mold, but because she was breaking it so beautifully that they couldn't look away. The girl from Chimango, who just wanted to share her love for fashion and self-expression, had become a voice that the world was hungry to hear. But this was just the beginning. Katherine was about to take that digital breakthrough and transform it into something even more powerful. While other influencers were playing by the old rules, Katherine was writing new ones. She didn't just want to be featured in campaigns, she wanted to control her narrative entirely. Enter K&R Studio, Katherine's masterstroke. At just 22, she became a CEO, combining her business education with her newfound passion. This wasn't just about pretty pictures anymore. This was about building an empire with purpose. The fashion world took notice. Fashion Nova Curve came calling. She wanted partnerships. But Katherine wasn't just another influencer for hire. She was a strategic partner who understood that her platform came with responsibility. Then came the moment that validated everything she'd worked for, the Best Collaboration Award at the ARSM Made Awards. Standing on that stage, holding that trophy, Katherine wasn't just celebrating her success. She was celebrating every curvy woman who had ever been told she wasn't enough. But here's what makes Katherine different from every other award-winning model. She didn't let success change her mission. If anything, it amplified it. She realized that with great influence comes great responsibility, and she was ready to use hers to change everything. The numbers were impressive. Millions of followers, major brand deals, industry recognition. But the real impact was happening in the comments section, in the DMs, in the hearts of women who were finally seeing themselves represented. Let's talk about what Katherine was really up against. For decades, the fashion industry operated on a simple, destructive premise. There was one way to be beautiful, and if you didn't fit that mold, you were invisible. Size 2 or smaller, tall, thin, and typically white. These weren't just preferences. They were the law of fashion land. Models who didn't fit this narrow definition were relegated to the sidelines, if they were acknowledged at all. Katherine looked at these rules and said, "Watch me break every single one." She didn't just model clothes, she modeled confidence. She didn't just pose for photos, she posed questions that made the industry uncomfortable. Why do we accept that beauty has limits? Why do we let magazines tell us who deserves to be seen? Every photo Katherine posted was an act of rebellion. Every campaign she participated in was a statement. Every time she walked into a room, virtual or physical, she was expanding the definition of what it meant to be beautiful. The ripple effect was immediate and powerful. Other plus-size models started speaking up. Brands started expanding their sizing. Magazines started featuring more diverse bodies. Katherine had lit a fire that the industry couldn't ignore. But revolution isn't easy, and Katherine was about to learn just how hard some people would fight to keep the old system in place. Success in breaking barriers comes with a price, and Katherine paid it in full. The hate comments started rolling in. She's promoting unhealthy lifestyles. Real models don't look like that. She should lose weight if she wants to be taken seriously. The keyboard warriors came out in full force, armed with decades of internalized fat phobia and ready to tear down anyone who dared to challenge their narrow worldview. Katherine could have crumbled. She could have internalized the criticism, changed herself to fit their expectations, or simply disappeared from the spotlight. Many models in her position have done exactly that. Instead, she did something revolutionary. She got stronger. Every hateful comment became fuel for her mission. Every attempt to shame her became evidence of why her work was so desperately needed. Katherine realized that the intensity of the backlash was directly proportional to the threat she posed to the status quo. But the challenges weren't just external. Transitioning from a stable career in business administration to the unpredictable world of modeling during a global pandemic, that takes courage most people can't imagine. There were sleepless nights wondering if she'd made the right choice. There were moments of doubt when the criticism felt overwhelming. There were days when the weight of representing so many women felt crushing. Katherine's secret weapon? She never forgot why she started. Every time the journey got difficult, she'd read the messages from women whose lives had been changed by her content. She'd remember that little girl in Chimango who dreamed of something bigger. She'd think about all the women who still needed to see themselves represented. Katherine understood something that many influencers miss. True impact goes beyond pretty pictures and brand partnerships. Her captions became mini therapy sessions, addressing mental health, self-awareness, and the courage to pursue dreams despite societal pressure. She didn't just post photos, she posted purpose. When followers shared their struggles with body image, Katherine responded with genuine care and wisdom. When young women asked for advice about entering the modeling world, she provided real, actionable guidance. When brands approached her with partnerships that didn't align with her values, she said no, even when it cost her money. K&R Studio evolved beyond a business venture into a platform for change. Katherine began creating educational content for aspiring models and influencers, sharing the business strategies and mindset shifts that had made her successful. Her entrepreneurial spirit wasn't just about building wealth, it was about building a legacy. Katherine realized that true change happens when you don't just break through barriers, but when you hold the door open for everyone behind you. The girl from Chimango had become a global advocate, speaking to audiences far beyond Chile, far beyond fashion, far beyond modeling. She was speaking to anyone who had ever felt too much, too different, too other for this world. Katherine's journey is far from over. In fact, she's just getting started. Ken and our studio is expanding, with plans for larger collaborations and educational initiatives that will help the next generation of diverse creators build sustainable careers. Katherine isn't just thinking about her own success. She's architecting a system that will support countless others. Her goal? To take her body positivity advocacy to the global stage. International campaigns, worldwide events, and partnerships that will amplify diverse voices across continents. Katherine envisions a future where representation isn't revolutionary, it's simply normal. She's also pioneering educational content that teaches aspiring models and influencers the business side of content creation. Strategy, consistency, creativity, the skills that turn passion into profession. But perhaps most importantly, Katherine is building something that will outlast her own career. A movement that ensures no young girl will ever again have to wonder if she's beautiful enough, worthy enough, or enough to chase her dreams. The impact Katherine has created is just the beginning. Her legacy won't be measured in followers or brand deals, but in the lives she's changed and the barriers she's eliminated for future generations. Katherine Saez's story proves that sometimes the most powerful revolutions start with one person brave enough to be authentically themselves. She turned a pandemic setback into a platform for change. She transformed criticism into courage. She built an empire while building up everyone around her. If Katherine's journey inspired you to embrace your own unique beauty, to chase dreams that seem impossible, or to challenge systems that don't serve you, let me know in the comments below. Share how her story impacted you, and tell me which models or creators you'd like to see featured next. And if you're ready to join a community that celebrates diversity, challenges stereotypes, and supports game changers like Katherine Saez, subscribe to Sweet Chic Model and hit that notification bell. Because when we support creators who are changing the world, we become part of that change too. Who knows? Maybe your story of breaking barriers is next.